So, good morning, Jay. How are you?
I'm good, Neha. How are you?
Good, thank you. So, congratulations for your deal.
Thank you.
So, can you just let us know something about this client?
So basically, the client is known as Areete Business Solutions. They are into the agri-tech sector. They are a software, yet they are also a product-driven company. They are a startup and they are a Pune-based organization.
Okay. So, what were the major challenges you faced during this client?
So as a growing company for startups, the major challenge what comes on board is to give them a cost-effective options. Double the challenge is when a company is not only into software or not only into product, but it's a mix of both, where you need to take care of the backend team requirement as well as their product and sales team requirement. So the major challenge was to find out the location which can cater to the requirements in terms of how the sales team is convenient in terms of catering to their customer service satisfaction in terms of meetings and all, and at the same point of time where space which is more suitable for the backend team to work on a very peaceful mode. So these were the two major challenges for us in conducting this deal.
Okay. So, how did you overcome this challenge?
Well, there was a mix, good support from the client and a patience what they kept, understanding that their requirement is unique. Hence, we were been, looking out at multiple premises throughout the city. We were along with the client for almost a month and a half, showing the multiple premises. And after analyzing and shortlisting multiple options, we were able to shortlist few options which were both on a conventional as well as on managed front.
Okay. So, how did you know the client was happy?
Well, the first feedback or the first impression what client gave us while we were doing the site visit was to understand that whether we are taking their requirement in the right form, showing them the right properties. That was first of the satisfaction where client was happy that we were able to show them multiple options which were suiting the requirement. Second, helping them out with a comparison chart where they were able to do a deep analyzations in terms of the finances, because as a startup you have to think from their perspective also. You have to keep yourself in their shoes and think whether this office is going to be suitable for them from a long term or not, which we did in our overall sales process. Hence, when we help them out with the options of manage, which comes to be a more cost effective yet more of a production friendly premises, that's where they were more happy and they were decided to take up the step of making a closure. Also, one of the major reasons was that the space gives them the opportunity to expand.
Okay. So, value added by Brantford.
A lot. I feel that giving them the options which caters to their requirement from the product perspective, having a separate section where their product team can peacefully work, area where the sales team can conduct a dedicated meetings without any hassle or keeping an eye on the credits or on the hours. As it's a product based company, yet the sales team needs to cater to the client, you need to also take care of refreshment simultaneously. Hence, we give them an area, a dedicated pantry from where they can serve refreshment within their office premises, yet into a managed solutions.
Thank you so much, Jay, for joining us today. So, now let us hear from client what he has to say about the Brantford services.
Yes, sir. First of all, good evening.
Good evening, Jay.
Thank you for giving your time, sir.
Thanks a lot. It's my pleasure.
Hope you're enjoying the new office.
Yeah. Very much. Enjoying the new office very much. Yes.
Thank you. So basically, just wanted to understand few things from the Brantford perspective. Is that how was your overall experience with Brantford in this journey of helping you out in the new office, and taking those things into consideration. My first question from you to understand is that as a client, as Areete Business Solution, what was the encounters? What was the obstacles you faced to get the right office option, sir?
Whatever offices that we are looking at it, the number one challenge that we faced was that offices were traditionally housed in buildings which had established businesses and traditional businesses. So lawyers, construction companies, okay, then large IT enterprises. So we whatever offices we saw, these were the kind of places. Some places which we saw, the offices were having the right startup ecosystem, but very cramped and congested. So there is no vibrancy in that places. So it was like sweatshop kind of offices, and so one long table shared by multiple enterprises, or each of them sitting next to each other. So there is no culture that you can build in such a place. There is no aspect of individuality that you can derive from such a place. That was the second challenge that we faced. Third challenge which we saw in many offices was they were pricey. Okay, so it was like you could get good offices, very modern offices, but there was a huge price tag associated with it, and something that we as startup couldn't afford to invest in such offices. The other big challenge was some of these offices were located in bylanes or inside of the main roads. So that made travel and access very difficult. These are some of the challenges we faced. We did not like many of the offices which we saw because they were shown for existing clients who have a particular scale and who wanted to be steady in that scale. Maybe grow a little bit linearly, but more or less stable clients.
My next question, Srinivas, is to understand that, what was your experience and what do you think that from the client's perspective, how did Brantford assisted you in, overcoming the issues, what you just rightly mentioned, what you faced during the multiple site visits, and how was Brantford's assistance to you?
Brantford, within a very short span of maybe 3 to 5 site visits, understood exactly what we were looking for. Yeah, and that's a very important thing. I don't think anybody can double guess or peep into our minds of what we want. It's very important to understand our client requirements, and I think Brantford understood our requirements very clearly, and after that the kind of options which were put up to us were very, very close to what we were looking for. Okay, and that is how I think it became very easy to kind of locate the offices which suited us ideally. So I think the starting was always the same with Brantford also, but the adapting to customer requirements, understanding customer requirements, and quickly bringing up options suitable to the customer requirements was something that Brantford did brilliantly, and with very low amount of traction or inertia in it, very low amount of inertia, very quickly, like we used to tell, this is not good, this is not what we want, next day the options would come up very close to what we were thinking. So that was very good with Brantford.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. My next question is to understand, Srinivas sir, is what aspect you find that, I believe in your last answer you might have covered it, but just from the perspective of understanding it in more elaborate way, is that what aspect of Brantford you found to be more appreciating, sir?
See, every client has some constraints, okay, and we operate within our own constraints. Constraints could be about how we want to be today, how we want to grow in tomorrow. Okay, maybe we don't want an office which is having 50-seater area or 100-seater area. We can't afford it on day one. Okay. Second could be that we want to grow in 3 months' time or 6 months' time. Okay, not necessarily that we'll have a lock-in period of 12 months and 1 year or 2 years and all of that. Third thing is, even if we want to have an office close to our choice, but we can't customize because we don't know when we are going to move to our next office. Could be bigger, could be smaller. Now, all these are client-specific constraints, and as a startup, we are trying to work within our constraints and our means. Two things: our means and our constraints. What I feel made a big difference is that you did not make us feel small for our constraints.
Thank you.
Okay. Now that is an important point. That means our constraints are there on the table. You did not say, "Arey, your constraints. How will you get within these options? You are making it difficult." No, I never got these kind of terms from Brantford.
All our best wishes with you, and we look forward for a long-term Business Association, sir. Hopefully, wherever you grow, we look forward to get an opportunity from you, sir.
Thank you, Jay, and all the best. And really happy to have been part of this engagement with Brantford and you, especially Jay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have been a lovely partner in this journey for us.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure is all mine, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for it.
Thank you.